Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na Wednesday, number 12 day for this first month for the year 2022. My name na Capo Daniel, the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonia Governing Council, aka Sense Past King. Una welcome to my daily podcast for una. I wake up today with shocking news from the family of Agukolam Honorable KEMENDE, one of my very strong followers for Ground Zero. I get news for a family say the Senator KEMENDE Henry either be killed by Cameroon military under very suspicious circumstances. I then get a couple of messages. I'm completely shocked. Even though senators and parliamentarians have been banned and rejected by our people not to represent them in Cameroon Kangaroo House of Law and Legislature, Senator KEMENDE Henry have been a very close confidant of mine. He have been contacting me. I've never met the man, but for the past 2 years, he has always been reaching out to talk to me, to explain things that are going on. I'm just completely shocked that such a man will be assassinated in this manner. This should go a long way to show Ambazonians and all collaborators that nobody will be spared by Mr. Pobia. He was a very intelligent man. He have been exposing corruption in La Republique, in the SDF. He have been challenging the Cameroon government in ways that nobody there can challenge. You can compare him to Honorable Weber. Even though he was an enabler and collaborator, I have a deep admiration of his courage. We will get details of his death and will present it to the Ambazonian people. I can tell our people that a good friend of mine, we don't call him Senator, but I'll call him Senator KEMENDE Henry, have been assassinated. His last communication with me was on New Year Day, where he told me he have changed his number. He was now using a new number. The number, he said that his old numbers was being monitored by the Cameroon government. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, in this episode, for this podcast, I want to inform the Ambazonian people, as we inform the world, that the Cameroon government, the shameless government without any dignity, the most worst and backward people on earth, Cameroonians of La Republique, have been using fake news, defamation, and misrepresentation, impersonating credible Ambazonian personalities and organizations like myself and the Ambazonian Governing Council on social media and on the diplomatic cycle to blackmail us. The latest document is sent out purportedly using my name and my signature, stating that the ADF is asking for the killing of students in Progressive Comprehensive College. That document is a fake document made by the Cameroon Intelligence Wing. We have been monitoring their activity. We now have know that that document was also sent to many diplomats to misrepresent the Ambazonian cause as a cause of terrorists. Meanwhile, it is a legitimate cause being championed by peace-loving people with dignity and credibility. You should ignore any document or any fake Facebook page that uses credible Ambazonian personalities, officials, and institutions to misrepresent our words to the international community and to the domestic audience and mischaracterize our people and our cause for independence. As a matter of fact, it is the Cameroon government that is a terrorist institution headed by a madman who is brain dead. Their policy meets the definition of terrorism. The Cameroon military is a terrorist organization, and their officials are pursuing terrorism policy in recolonizing our territory after having annexed it. The Cameroon economy is in shambles, and this nation's cup is going to be a blood clot that is going to cause heart attack to finish Cameroon, as Ambazonia have crippled it through our economic sabotage. I will bring you guys detail in the other episode due to lack of time. I go want to take this opportunity for primarily focus on yet another powerful outing by former Undersecretary of State for African Affairs, Ambassador Tibor Nagy, on BBC, pushing forth the Ambazonian agenda in a fair and balanced manner. Tibor Nagy have shown that indeed America is made of people who are brave and who love democratic principle. They asked Tibor Nagy whether the war between Ambazonia and La République will be solved now by international solution. This was his answer on BBC.
And good afternoon. Actually, the answer to that is yes and yes. Obviously, the final resolution has to come from within the various parties in Cameroon, but there also needs to be intense international pressure. Otherwise, the Cameroonian government will just go through a process of having a process with no clear outcomes. So indeed, the international community needs to apply more pressure, but also the Cameroonians, all of the sides, need to fix their own positions because the government is divided on what to do about it, but also the Anglophone communities are very much divided on how to move forward.
So Tibor Nagy, it talks say the solution it will come now from decision where it will be made by the two side them, La République their side and Ambazonia their side, and this resolution it will come now when the international community go put intense pressure for make sure say me negotiation, a proper negotiation it happen. It talks say otherwise the Cameroon government it will only make sure say me then get only some kind pretend process say negotiation it go on but way it no go ever end with any result. This one na a direct reference for the Swiss negotiation way if we don't explain them as we be explaining for our last podcast for the interview we be carry them on for the former Secretary of State for the IG group Chris Anu the interview as we be done explain them last time. So Tibor Nagy talk say Ambazonia side them be divided about the solution, and the Cameroon side also them be divided about the solution. We know very well say the Ambazonian Governing Council it don't participate for a joint platform where it don't bring the various stakeholders, the various opinions on this issue on our territory in the retreat for the leadership where it be take place for Canada for make sure say make Ambazonia their side they present a common front for represent independence where nothing we what majority of our people then want them. The Cameroon also they talk say their side also be divided, and these are the challenges where Tibor Nagy they explain them. Them also ask Tibor Nagy say Mickey explain fine when he be talk say if Cameroon continue for begin the commit atrocity them it go make a me Ambazonia instead can happen because the international community could try to solve the problem in a way where it could make Ambazonia become independent. Now they think this way Tibor Nagy be answer.
Number one, anyone who says that Cameroon's Anglophone population is not second-class citizens, I will just point to one key fact. You have a president of Cameroon who's been president for 38 years, and he does not speak English. Can you imagine a Canadian prime minister not speaking French? So that's one. Number two, when this struggle started and the Anglophones aired their grievances, the support for an independent Ambazonia, I would say, was a minor point of view. But as the conflict goes on, there are more and more Anglophones who are coming to the side of wanting an independent Ambazonia. So the government, if it keeps up the scorched earth, it will end up just like what happened with South Vietnam. We have seen it in other places in the world, that they're going to drive the Anglophones into the more extreme position, and there will end up with being two Cameroons, one Ambazonia and the other one what is now Francophone Cameroon.
Na that way Tibor Nagy idi explain am say if me the war no say na true say Ambazonians them they be treated for inside Cameroon like say na people they know be people them for day, like people they know be people for that country, second class citizen. And he don't give examples. Say the president for Cameroon he need to talk English. Also the way the Cameroon government he take them for act, time way teacher them and lawyer them be start for make the protest about this thing the way the Ambazonian people they be the suffer for Cameroon. The way the Cameroon government he act, he start begin bonbon people their villages them. If Cameroon government he continue this way, then me them be sure say Ambazonia it will become independent. Because time where this struggle be start, no be plenty people be the support independence. But now because of which way the Cameroon government they do one for our people them, many people they support independent, and this crisis it go can end where it go lead for separation. It go be one side go come out na Ambazonia, another one it go remain na Cameroon. So them also ask Tibor Nagy say the Cameroon government they always accuse NGO them, religious group them, and plenty international people them say they support Ambazonia them. They don't choose for those support Ambazonia them. Say it means say they need to talk thing now because say it be correct. They talk not just because the one for Chakara, Cameroon. So Tibor Nagy he explain them so.
Well, you know, here's the other governments, as we all know, accuse NGOs of taking side X or side Y. And here's the truth. I have worked with NGOs for my decades of being in Africa, and they are incredibly faithful, devoted people going into the worst possible circumstances. Now, you know, you're an NGO and you're treating women who have been raped. Of course, you know, your sympathy is going to be with the victims. And that's what happens to NGOs, whether they're working in refugee camps or areas that are under conflict. You have to have sympathy for the victims, which does not mean that you're sympathizing with the political objectives, but you're definitely sympathizing with the victim. But this is an old criticism that governments always bring out about NGOs.
So Tibor Nagy he talks say if you be NGO, you do work with the people the way they suffer for war, you go always the feel sorry for the people in a way that them be victim them. And for this case, example, it show say na Ambazonia them be victim for this Cameroon the atrocity the way they commit them because na Cameroon be start to kill our people. Na Cameroon be the main person where they work at key people them. So it be natural say any NGO where they work for ground and international people they need for bikini sorry now for the Ambazonian people them. And this one a very good example for the expectation where our people they don't get them for church leaders, NGOs, then waiting there for inside Ambazonia. Unfortunately, some of the play politics that they talk say they need to one be sympathetic to the people their cause. But na foreign at this it talk say it be natural and na so correct NGO then supposed for the work for always stand with the victim them. And in this case for this war, now the people from Ambazonia be the victim, then act their action for self-defense it come now as a result of Cameroon their aggression and terrorism. Them also asked Tibor Nagy say, what about for your own country, America? Joe Biden when a president for day. If he said them they take this Ambazonia and their war with La Republic very seriously for the way they're supposed to take them because now already 5 years now the American government in already do something. Now answer this way jam.
It is a forgotten conflict, and there are several reasons for that. One, there are huge issues which push themselves to the front of the international agenda. And as we all know, there's only 24 hours in the day and so much oxygen in the room, and they suck it out. You know, whether it's Afghanistan, Iran, Ukraine, Taiwan, China. So those are the ones that grab the attention. The Cameroonian conflict, another reason is that France, who is critical, and French role is critical, has been very, very ambivalent about wanting to do anything with Cameroon. And as you all know, Cameroon also is in a very unique position because there's two crises going on in Cameroon. One, of course, the Anglophone crisis, but there's also a crisis in northern Cameroon, which involves international extremism. And in that crisis, the Cameroonian government is an ally of the international community in trying to confront the extremism. So there are all of these complicating factors, but the answer to your question is absolutely yes. The conflict needs more attention, but I can't guarantee that it'll get it.
Ambassador.
So the ambassador he answer, he talks in a 4 things them day. He talks say number 1, plenty things that happen for the war where it had it come for in front international community, like plenty war them where they go on to Afghanistan, all these other places where they be more popular than Ambazonia. And he also talks in number 2 thing now because of France. So France, it no one made them solve the problem that they always try for make excuse them for cover up with the way it happen for the international community time waiting that they come up so that me they no support, me they no help for solve the problem. He talk number 3 thing. Say number 3 thing now because say you get some problem with the international community they worry this terrorism for Boko Haram where it is for northern Cameroon. He talks to the international community, they fight Boko Haram too, so that they see Cameroon somehow like some partner way if he help them for day. So them too they one help but they worry whether you go chakara that fight for against Boko Haram. So he talks about the Ambazonian a war and a problem they may be very important for America, but you don't know whether they will get the attention way the American government is supposed to give for this problem because of the reason the way it put them for down. So now the thing then that way where Ambassador Tibor Nagy it go out of his way for talking for the international community during this Nations Cup where it don't give the international community also a time for begin look about which way it happened for the Cameroons and the war for Ambazonia. It is overshadow the festivity for the African Nations Cup where La Republic it don't decide for host them and it use Ambazonian territory them for Victoria and for Boya for host this their World Cup when a big provocation for our people them. The Ambazonian Defense Forces would take every measures, would not carry out an attack for half mile for inside Victoria, and we go continue for carry out attacks for stop this Nations Cup and for arrest the players and the support and the visitor the way they don't enter our territory for participate for this Nations Cup. Most of the visitor they don't boycott. Most of the hotels then be empty, even though the Nations Cup they don't be push them now for side them for Ambazonia where not been at the epicenter for our war as Bamenda na the epic na the capital for resistance. We go still continue for carry out operations within Victoria for stop the Nations Cup and also for Boyawe they use them also for day. We encourage our sister forces and other forces where they act within those areas also for carry out attacks and do their best for make sure say make we stop these affronts to our people. Our people are looking up for us. The messages it come on a day by day basis from our civilians where they ask and say make we take action. Our civilians they need to understand also say the greatest handicap we don't get them now the IG group where they don't come they be impose this ideology of county by county where it then be used by the Cameroon intelligence for kick out majority of the leaders and for some of our groups and for the where they be toxin na Bamenda people them it then put we at the back footing. Nevertheless, we are coming back even stronger and will build much and much more indigenous groups and within the Atlantic states for carry out such actions. And indeed, we will meet up with the expectation of our people. Make all man keep your fingers crossed. God bless you now. Capo Daniel signing off.